Hi, Ryder and Milo. I have a story today called The Silent Owl. The Silent Owl. It's a story about an owl who lives in the forest, but he never says anything. And the different forest animals and creatures come and try to get the owl to say something and talk to them, but he doesn't. And there's a good surprise at the end. So I like this story. It's called The Silent Owl. I think you'll like it too. So let's take a look at it. The Silent Owl. And it's got nice pictures too. I like the pictures. The Silent Owl. So there it is. Move myself way over here so we don't have to see me so much. Okay. The Silent Owl. S-I-L-E-N-T spells silent. And O-W-L, you know that word, it spells owl. And there's our owl in our story. So let's read our story. The Silent Owl. In the great old hollow oak lived an owl who never spoke. There's our owl, and he lives in an oak tree. In the great old hollow oak lived an owl who never spoke. Fox asked, "Why do you never speak?" But owl refused to move its beak. So the little fox says, "Why do you never speak?" But the owl refused to move his beak. Badger huffed, "How very rude!" But owl would not, could not be moved. So first the fox and then the badger. They want him to talk, but the owl won't talk. A swooping bat whooped, "Say hello!" But owl was silent far below. Let's count the bats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bats. But owl is silent far below. A pair of mice squeaked in his ear. "Is it that you cannot hear?" But owl just rolled his giant eyes and stared up at the starry skies. So the mice think that the owl can't hear, but I think he can hear. 1 mouse, 2 mice. A pair of mice squeaked in his ear. "Is it that you cannot hear?" But owl just rolled his giant eyes and stared up at the starry skies. A squirrel scolded, "Are you nuts?" But owl ignored with toothy tuts. So the squirrel has got a little acorn and he says, "Are you nuts?" But the owl ignored his toothy tuts. "Rat!" cried owl, "this isn't right." But owl just gazed into the night. So there's the rat, and he says, "Owl, this isn't right." But the owl still is not speaking. Stag said, "Owl, we need a sign to let us know that you are fine." So the stag, which is a deer, he's worried. They want a sign to make sure that the owl is fine because he's not speaking. So all the creatures gather round to see if owl could make a sound. They stared at owl. He stared right back. Who would be the first to crack? The stag, mouse, fox, badger, bat, 2 mice, and a squirrel are all waiting to see if they can get owl to speak. Stag declared he must be mute, or he doesn't give a hoot. He must be moot, or he does not give a hoot. Mute means you can't speak. If you're mute, you don't speak. As at this, the owl start over, Grandma. At this, the owl produced a trumpet and a big bass drum and stick to thump it. At this, the owl produced a trumpet, there's the trumpet, and a big bass drum and stick to thump it. So all of a sudden, the owl has a trumpet, a big bass drum, and a stick to thump the bass drum. I wonder if he's going to make some music. Although Owl wouldn't hoot, he played the bongos, the piano, the guitar, and a flute. So all of a sudden, Owl is making music with bongo drums, playing the piano, playing a guitar, and playing the flute. The animals cheered, "What a clever bird!" And Owl just winked without a word. So the owl didn't have to talk because he played instruments, and that's what he liked to do. And that's the end of the story. I think it's a pretty good story. I like that the owl is winking at the end of the story. And now all the animals know that the owl is very clever because he can play all those instruments. That's a good story. And that's the end of that one. I hope you liked the story of the silent owl. Hoo hoo, hoo hoo. I'll see you later. Bye bye.